Problem 9. Jeremy is struggling with math and has scored 65, 72, and 69 on his first 3 tests. What does he need to make on his next test to bring his average to a passing grade? Again, I'm going to bring back the notebook paper here so we can work a little bit more neatly. So, he currently has 3 grades, and I could figure out his current average, but that doesn't really answer the question. We want to know what he needs to make on a 4th grade. So we have 65 plus 72 plus 69 plus some random value. And we recall from Unit 2 that when we don't know the value yet, but we want to determine what it is, we use a variable. So this is our algebra process coming back of putting in a variable. What does he need to make on his next test? Well, now we're going to divide, and I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 scores in order to divide to get my average. And we've already been told that we want our average to equal 70. So we now have an equation that we need to solve. And I'm going to clean this up just a little bit by going ahead and calculating these scores. 65 plus 72 plus 69 equals 206. So 206 plus x divided by 4 equals 70. And now you should remember from Unit 2 that we need to do reverse order of operations. And up here in this top portion of our numerator, we have parentheses, which is going to make division come before parentheses. And so in order to get rid of this 4 that's in the denominator, I need to multiply this left side of the equation by 4. Because these two 4's will then cancel each other out. Anything I do to the left side of the equal sign, I have to do the right side of the equal sign. So I'm going to multiply by 4 over 1 just to be consistent. I will multiply this side by 4 over 1. And we will get 70 times 4 is 280. And as I mentioned, 4 over 4 is simply 1. So we end up with 1 over 1, which will also get rid of everything over here, except for the 206 plus x now equals 280. My last step would be to subtract 206 from both sides so that I can get x by itself. So x equals 74. The value that Jeremy needs to get on his 4th math test in order to get a passing grade or get a 70 would be a 74 on his 4th test. Problem number 10. Find the interquartile range for the following data and create a box and whisker plot. Now, in order for me to find the interquartile range, I need to find some medians, which would mean that I would want to put these numbers in numerical order to make it easier for me to do something with them. Hopefully by now you're realizing that these numbers are relatively familiar. We used them in the previous problem. If not, that's okay. You can still go through the process of checking them off again. So 9, 11, 12, 14, 15, 17, 24, 28, and 39. So I have again checked off all 8 of my numbers. Sorry, 9 of my numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. And so again, I will count from the ends until I get to an exact center. Well, I have an exact center, so that would be my Q2. And then I look at every number to the right of that term. And I have 4 numbers, so my median of my upper set of data would be between 24 and 28. So that's going to equal 26. That would be my Q3. Then I will come down here, and I will come to the middle. Again, it's going to be between these 2 terms. So I will need to figure out what 11 plus 12 divided by 2 is, and that would be 11.5. So now we have enough information, and I'm going to go ahead and do one more thing just because it's helpful to me. And we discussed this in class, finding the 5 summary points. So I'm going to go ahead and label them real quick on the key. So my lower extreme was 9. My Q1 equals 11.5. My Q2, or my median, equals 15. My Q3 equaled 26. And my upper extreme was 39. And so now that I have all 5 of these pieces of information, and that's all I need to really be able to graph, I don't need my piece of paper anymore. We can now start to graph on our study guide. So I'm going to, let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That would be a long enough span to collect all my data. I will start with labeling, let's see, LE, my lower extreme, would be somewhere near 9. My Q1, 11.5, would be somewhere about right there. My Q2, which is 15, would be about right here. My Q3 of 26 would be just above 25. And my upper extreme of 39 would be somewhere way up here. And so now I would have a box and whisker plot that represents the data given.